Hello, Zuko here, and today I'm going to be doing my end of the year TBR. And it feels weird, right? To be doing the end of the year kind of prep work stuff. It's not like I feel like it's still the beginning of the year. I just feel like the middle of the year should go on longer. Does that make sense? So these are 10 books that I would like to read before the end of the year now. But I have trouble reading longer books and rereading books the last bit of the year. I feel like I'm in that crunch mode where I have to read and get a bunch of books done because I have to hit my reading goals, right? I really put off longer books, and that is 15-hour audiobooks versus 12-hour audiobooks or 10. Anything 12 and under I will still pick up, but anything over that, I'm oh, that's too long. It's going to take me too long to read. But I'm going to try and read some of these anyway. So the first one, these are in no particular order, by the way. The first book I want to read before the end of the year is An Unkindness of Magicians by Kat Howard. The two people I know who have read this have really loved it. I have no idea what it is about. She breathed in. Sydney was, all at once, an entire forest. She was root and leaf, dirt and sky. Green and spring were blood in her veins, air in her lungs. She was between one heartbeat and the next, all of magic. what does that mean? Okay, as far as I can gather, this is about powerful magic users in New York City, and every 20 years or so, they have magical families, powerful magical families have to have duels, but this one comes 13 years early, and I don't know, I have no, I'm truly going into this book blind. This is not a long audiobook. I really am excited to read this. Everyone I know is this is a 5-star read, so I want to read this. And apparently this is also not a standalone anymore, so maybe I shouldn't read it. I don't know. I'm going to read this year. I've decided it. I'm really excited. I have no idea what it's about. Okay, the next one is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I've been wanting to read this for 2 Halloweens now, and I finally have it at my library so I can listen to the audiobook, and that was truly the only thing stopping me from reading it. Also, this edition looks the same under the dust jacket, and that's my favorite thing. I love when naked hardbacks are just smooth and match the dust jacket. I don't know. This is a haunted house book that inspired the show The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix, which is one of my favorite Halloween shows to binge, and I'm excited to read this. I know this is not going to be anything like the show, which is a family drama haunted house, and I think this is just a bunch of people staying in this house, and they realize things are off about it and that something is wrong with this house. There's a bug. My windows are open and there are bugs small enough to get through the screen, so they're just in here until they die, I guess. I am so excited to finally get to this book this year. This is going to be one of my October reads, so I will be getting to this soon. Next, I have The Book Eaters by Sunyi Dean. This is the Waterstones exclusive edition. It is very pretty. I think also it is going to be in a subscription box for September, so I might end up with 2 copies, but that's fine. So I think this is about people who eat books, but one of them gives birth to a child who eats brains instead, and the mother is going to try to protect this kid. I think. I have no idea, honestly. Again, I go into my books pretty blind, but I think this is a horror. I don't remember if this is YA or adult, but I'm super excited to read this book. It's been on my radar. I've been waiting for it. So this is a book that I'm going to definitely read by the end of the year. Hopefully. Probably. Yeah. Then I have my beautiful Illumicrate edition of Babel by R.F. Kuang, I think. I don't know. I hope that's correct. This is a dark academia, maybe magical school book. I think this is adult. I don't know. I have no idea. I really want to read this. This audiobook's long. I feel like it's a 24-hour audiobook. I could be wrong. It might be shorter than that. It might be 18 hours, but I am super excited to pick this up. This was not on my radar because I do not believe it's queer, but then it started being really hyped up all over everywhere, so now I'm really excited to actually read this. But I'm also nervous now because when something is really hyped up, I'm is it actually going to be worth the hype, or am I going to be disappointed? And I don't want to be disappointed. I'm really excited to get to this when I do, before the end of the year. Okay, this is a book that I'm probably the least likely to read by the end of the year, and that is Seasonal Fears by Shauna McGuire. This is the companion novel to Middle Game, and I don't really know what this one could be about after Middle Game, because Middle Game, I don't know. I could understand maybe a sequel to Middle Game, but a companion novel, I couldn't guess what this story does, but I have it. This was one of those books where I pre-ordered the audiobook on Audible, and I had the book pre-ordered, obviously. I have the copy here, and I was really excited for it to come out, and I was going to read it the day it came out, and then I didn't. And I don't know when I'm gonna get to this, but I'm gonna tell myself it's gonna be by the end of the year. I'm probably lying, but we'll see. Then I want to reread A Psalm for the Wild-Built and then get to A Prayer for the Crowned Shy, both by Becky Chambers. I read this and I don't really remember it. I feel like I didn't get a good grasp on things. Like maybe I wasn't fully like invested in the story, but I liked the story. It was about a tea monk, I believe. Someone who makes tea for people, but they just wanted to hear the sound of crickets. So they decide to leave their tea making and helping of people and go explore the wilderness to try and find crickets, but instead they stumble upon a robot. And there hasn't been robots on Earth since, I believe, AIs had a like uprising, but not a violent uprising. They just all decided to leave. And I just really loved the world in this book, so I want to reread it so that I know what is going on for myself, and also so that I can get to the sequel, which I am assuming, you know, follows the first one. It isn't going to give me like whole new sets of characters, because that would be kind of weird, I feel like. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll be great and there's a new set of characters. No idea. Another book that I'm really desperate to read by the end of the year, but like, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to. I feel like this is, if not November, going to be a December read. Like I'm going to read this one. I feel it in my soul. This one's going to get read before the end of the year. And that is Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell. I don't know what this is besides like a queer space book. And I know Everina Maxwell has another book coming out soon, Ocean's Echo, I believe. And I don't know, I think that one's another queer, maybe space book. And I've found that I just really like the queer space books that Tor publishes. So I really want to read this because, I don't know, I really like the cover. I really like the UK cover too. And I might try to get my hands on, I think Illumicrate did the UK cover and had sprayed edges, and I just kind of want it. I have no idea what this is about. Queer space book, so that's all I need to know. Then I have Book of Night by Holly Black, which was another one of those books that I had pre-ordered on Audible. I had pre-ordered my book, like I'd wanted to read this when it came out, and then I just didn't. And I have 2 copies now, and I've read it 0 times. And I think this is like, I know this is Holly Black's first adult novel. I think this has something to do with magic, but I don't really know anything more than that. But I've liked all of the Holly Black books that I've read so far. I mean, I didn't love the White Cat trilogy so much, but I liked The Folk of the Air, and I really liked The Darkest Part of the Forest, which is one of my favorite books. So I'm like really excited to get to this. I don't know. This is another one where I'm like, am I going to get to this by the end of the year? I want to say yes, so I'm going to say yes, right? That's what you do. You just convince yourself that that's the truth, right? That's like positive affirmations. I am going to read this book by the end of the year. And lastly, the 10th book is Egg and Spoon by Gregory Maguire. So I'm not completely sure what this book is about, but it is really beautiful. I just want to read more Baba Yaga books, and there's one list on Goodreads for Baba Yaga books, and this was on there, so I bought it. And I know Gregory Maguire wrote the books that became the play Wicked. Gregory Maguire also wrote like a really awful Alice in Wonderland retelling where like the sentences were absolute nonsense. Like it was like if purple prose rolled in a bunch of garbage, you know? It was like trying to be flowery writing, but none of the sentences meant anything. And like I don't think it was trying to be like quirky Alice in Wonderland style like nonsense. It was someone trying too hard to sound elegant by saying absolutely nothing. So I'm hoping this book isn't like that and that it's a good Baba Yaga book. If you know any good Baba Yaga books, let me know. I've already tried to read, I don't know, some wolf ones. There's the purple one. I'll put them somewhere on the screen. I've already tried to read these, and I read Vasa in the Night and I loved it. And I think I'm apparently maybe, I don't think the Baba Yaga is a character, but I think that the Baba Yaga is mentioned in Uprooted by Naomi Novik, and I haven't read that, so if I can get an edition that isn't ugly, maybe I'll try that one. I guess I should listen to the audiobook and then try to buy an edition that isn't ugly, because I think the edition that isn't ugly is expensive. But yeah, let me know any other Baba Yaga books. And this is the last book that I am telling myself I'm going to read before the end of the year. Is it going to fit? Oh, barely. So yeah, that's my end of the year TBR. And my dog is having a dream behind the camera. But yeah, I'm telling myself I'm going to read all of these. I feel like I'm being really ambitious because they're long and I don't like to pick up long books, and I feel like a lot of them are long. So it's going to be like me forcing myself to pick up like 8 long books. But I can do it. I can do it. I'm going to do it. Positive affirmations, right? Yeah. Tell me down below that I can do this, that I'm going to read all of these books by the end of the year. And also let me know any books that you want to read before the end of the year. Are they the same as mine? Are these books that you want to read before the end of the year, or is there like a completely different list of books? So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you whenever I do my next video.